All right, we're going to switch right into Alabama Senator Mr. Tommy Tuberville. Senator Tuberville, thank you for your patience. We wanted to go as thoroughly as we could. You're going to be governor of Alabama, sir. You like millionaires, don't you? You're not going to tax them to death, are you?
Hey, Larry, just do this. Send all the billionaires and millionaires to Alabama. Send all the data centers to Alabama. What is wrong with these people? The data centers are the future of this country. The tax money the data centers brings in is phenomenal. It's for education. It's for cities, counties. I don't understand these people. I really don't. But hey, I'm not going to fight against them. We'll take all the data centers and all the million and billionaires we can get.
Yeah, I don't understand them either, and I've lived here for a very, very, very long time. Senator, there's a couple of things I want to raise with you. One of them is our friend Ron Johnson, Senator Ron Johnson, who I take it may become the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee now, and is a real go-getter and is a solid conservative supply-sider. But he and I believe Senator Rick Scott of Florida, they've been arguing that, you know, most Americans work 5 days a week. Why don't U.S. senators work 5 days a week? What did I see? Somebody said you all are in session less than something in the low 40 percentile. That ain't much on the taxpayer dime, sir.
Yeah, well, Larry, things have changed up here. It changed over the years. What used to happen is families used to move here when they became senators. And their kids grew up here, they went to schools. People worked 5, 6 days a week. But when it changed to where people just came up here and stayed 2 or 3 days and went back to their states, that's put a huge hindrance in terms of the work ethic and how much time we spend up here. We come on Mondays, we go home on Thursday nights. That's not a lot of time. We're getting ready to take 5 or 6 weeks off for the summer break coming up in August. And when we're here, everything kind of drags on. Government runs real slow. Sometimes we probably don't need to be here, but right now we do need to be here to get things done.
Well, all right. In that vein, I want to talk about the sanctions, the Russian sanctions that were proposed by Senator Lindsey Graham, the late Senator Lindsey Graham, great patriot that he was. And now there's talk from President Trump and others, maybe you're part of this, sir, include not only the tough sanctions, the double sanctions, no business, you're out of the SWIFT ledger, you're out of the Federal Reserve wire, no transactions in the dollar economy, which is most of the world. They want to include Iranian sanctions and Hezbollah sanctions along with the Russian sanctions. Is that feasible, and do you expect a vote on it, Senator Tuberville?
I think it's feasible. I think we need to play hardball. Again, it all comes down to President Trump. He's the negotiator in chief. He can get this done without us really even being involved. I'll tell you what, right now, Larry, with what's going on with Iran, the Democrats have lost their damn mind. They today, for the first time in many, many years, they blocked the process of moving the NDAA to the next step, which is about 4 or 5 steps. They just voted against it. They were basically telling us now, we're done. We're not going to vote on anything for the rest of the year. We hate Donald Trump. We hate America. We hate American people. We're for foreigners. We're for people that don't pay taxes. It is absolutely insane what's going on here. But if we're going to get anything done like that, it won't be through Congress with sanctions with Russia. It's going to have to go through President Trump.
Well, how can you vote against national defense, for heaven's sakes? I don't understand that. That's the most vital, essential thing. I mean, we want to be strong at home with the economy, but we must be strong abroad.
Yeah, they hate this president. They hate Donald Trump. President Trump plays hardball with them. He doesn't listen to them, but at the end of the day, you know, he's doing the right thing. We have got to put pressure on Iran. He's doing it. He's getting it done. But again, Chuck Schumer and his band of bandits over there, they could care less about this country. They want to bring it to socialism and communism. We've seen it. You're seeing it in New York. Folks, it's coming this way. We better put a stop to it.
All right. Well, the millionaires migrate to Alabama. Thank you, Senator Tuberville. We appreciate it very much, sir. Great to see you.